welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy. So, first off, did anyone in particular inspire you to start directing or start wanting to be a director?
Okay, so that goes back quite a while, because obviously I've been in the industry for quite a while. And it stems back from the days when I started in production and then eventually moved on to a show called KTV back in the days. And there were a few people, well, firstly with Supersport, and then with KTV. And there were a few people like this. My friend Tex, who was quite pivotal in getting me into the industry, along with the guys from Van Man Productions, Mark Van Hoff, Brett Mannion, and Andrew Jamison. Those are the guys that basically, that introduced me into live directing, and that's how I moved forward.
Okay, so how did you start directing at Hectic 99? Did you direct in any other shows before?
Yeah, so as I just previously mentioned, that I started doing my live directing at KTV, which is, if you don't know, it was a very well-known news show on Mnet. Just crazy. It was live on Saturday mornings from 7 to 11. And that was rather intense because it's 3 hours of non-stop craziness, or 4 hours non-stop craziness, with lots of kids and lots of entertainment bands, everything like that. After that, I started doing some stuff for like the August Cycle Tour, started directing that. I eventually ended up doing some boxing, which was pretty cool. That was one of my biggest sort of events. That was done for a European Eurosport, which is a European company. That went out to like about 144 million viewers, which was pretty cool. K1, and eventually started moving on to other things, and eventually led to like the Cape Town Jazz Festival, and that was all leading up to Hectic 99.
Okay, so how hard is it to be a technical director on the scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, you can almost use that entire scale, because it all just depends on the intensity of the production. I mean, it also depends on how many presenters you have, how many locations you have, how many cameras you have.
So, and also shows art and stuff also.
And what the show's about, yes. I mean, with like general sort of like interview stuff, it's pretty simple. But then when you start getting into music involved in it, then it becomes a lot more trickier. And I mean, it can vary from like a nice little 3 all the way to a 10 when you're dealing with multiple bands and multiple presenters. I also like to cut myself, which means I'm the person that cuts between the different cameras. So obviously you can imagine if you only cut it with 3 cameras, it's pretty simple. But when you start going to like 8, 9, 10 cameras, you're using all your fingers, and at the same time trying to look at 10 different monitors. So it can reach to a scale of 10 very quickly.
So did you want to be anything else before you wanted to be a technical director?
Okay, so here's the interesting thing. I actually studied mechanical engineering initially, and I thought that was the way where I was going to go. But then I was introduced. My friends took me to Supersport and stuff like that, and then I realized, wait a minute, I actually could see myself rather in the creative industry than measuring stress and strains of cantilevers and bridges and stuff like that. And once I experienced how cool that was, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to now change careers like completely, and did a complete 360 and went into television, which is where I ended up being. And I think it was much more suited for the type of person that I am.
So did you have to learn anything else, or like study anything else to become a technical director?
So the thing is, which I always recommend that you do that, and it's always it's because back in the days when I started, I mean, there wasn't really anything where you could actually go out and study. I mean, these type of media, film, television courses didn't quite exist. So I started off right at the very bottom. I mean, even when it's the days when I was doing assistant editing and stuff like that, I mean, it started right at the bottom. I was the gopher that used to drive the film through to the developing labs and stuff like that. And when I worked at Supersport, I was that person who used to run around getting the tapes. And, you know, so I started from complete 100% at ground level, and slowly worked myself up. And each year try to improve myself, asking the right questions, speaking to the right people, making sure you make friends with the right people, always having that go-to attitude, and that sufficed me. I mean, I've done little odds and ends, little webinars and courses and stuff like that online, but nothing really 100% in terms of studying, because, like I said, that didn't really exist in my days. That gives you an idea of how old I am. But anyway.
So what was your favorite part of being a technical director?
You know, I think the thing is, what is the best thing for me is that it's all about teamwork, and the more you're in tune with the team that's working around you, because you must understand that when you're doing a technical director, you are continuously speaking non-stop for however long the show is. So communication is obviously very key, and having a clear vision in terms of what you need to do and how you need to do it. And so that confidence to do that. And I think I'm quite a shy person when you meet me. So it's actually sort of like a bit of an alter ego when I get in front of these monitors. And it just my confidence just lifts, and then I have the ability to talk and just carry on. And it's just a matter of having 100% faith and dedication to what you do, and 100% faith to the people that's around you, to make sure that no matter what happens, no matter what falls apart, whatever goes down, that you can call on these people to assist you, because without their help, you're nothing. You know, you just can have black on air, and that's when the broadcasters and clients go like, oh, okay, so did you not have a plan B? So it is always that prep, that communication, that confidence. And I think that's one of the main things that I've sort of picked up over my years, is just to have that confidence and having that faith in yourself, that you know what you want, so just do it. You know, that type of thing, which is I think is quite important factor in a person's life.
So when did you start being a technical director, and when did you stop?
So start, I'm going to give my age away. So start was probably been in Cape Town now 20 odd years. So yeah, I've been in the industry for close on 24 years or so. I've been directing about 20 years. I haven't done Hectic 99 for the last 2-3 years or so, but I still am directing. I still do boxing. I direct the main stage at the Cape Town Jazz Festival. I've now done an odd little ends with the way the COVID things happened. I'm now also doing live streaming events like conferences. That's also a whole different ball game. It's a whole different type of directing, because you don't have that much creativity, but you need to make sure that you have everything pre-planned. So everything's pre-planned, and it has to be 100%. Everything has to go according to schedule. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen.
So what does a technical director really do? Okay,
so a technical director is that person. You've seen these scenes of like a newsroom and stuff like that, and there's this one person that sits in the middle, who is basically the pilot of the control room. And he's that person that says, stand by camera 1 and go camera 1, stand by camera 2 and go camera 2. Audio up. And so what I'm basically doing, I am piloting this control room, and I'm calling the different shots, calling the different cameras, calling the graphics when the graphics need to come in, making sure that the audio is ready, making sure that the audio that's coming through is loud and clear, making sure the presenters are in the right position, making sure the crew know what's going to happen. Because with director, you can't be in the moment. You have to be 2 to 3 steps ahead. So you're continuously making sure that you have a vision of what's needed to come. Because if you try work on the fly type situation, it's almost too late. So yes, I'm that person that sits there, goes, stand by camera one, go camera one, stand by audio, bring up audio, stand by presenter and cue presenter. And guys, there's something wrong with the lights. Well, that camera's gone down. Let's have it, bring in the replacement camera, the spare camera. So it's basically, like I said, it's the pilot of the control room. It is a lot of controlled chaos. And a lot of the times people do get quite excited and I must emphasize that, sometimes, tempers do fly because you're living in the moment. But one cool thing is that what a lot of people realize who work in a control room, in a live environment, that whatever happens in the control room happens in the control room. When you walk away, when you finish with production, that's it. There's no hard feelings. Everybody's cool. And you can't take it too personally because, if you don't make the right decision, you must understand that millions of people see it immediately.
Yeah.
And if you do make a mistake, you need to just step over it and then move on. Because if you try to dwell in it, then you're continuously on the back step, on the back foot. And the only way to do is to move over it, move on, and then, get up and try to pick yourself up and just make sure that you just perform to your 3,000% ability. And essentially, that's it. Make sure that story of the production crew comes across in the way that you wanted to, in the vision that they had, and hopefully without any seconds of black on air.
So what are some of the major responsibilities of being a director?
The director. So the main thing is that, with any show, it doesn't boil down just to that live day. I mean, it boils down to starting from concept and proposal, scripting, getting graphics done, getting inserts done and stuff like that. And the main thing is that what your job is at the end of the day is to take what the vision was of the rest of the crew, of your pre-production crew, and to make sure that vision is what comes out on the screen. Because it's not you just a cog in the chain, a cog in the whatever. You just that little part of a bigger picture. And so you have to make sure that you portray that story, that message that the entire pre-production team has put together, and that's your job to make sure that it all comes together.
So the final question for today is, so how do you stay current in the media industry and what are you doing now?
Okay, so I think the main thing is to always look at where you are and the people around you and where technology is going, because that's one of the major things in terms of my industry. I mean, technology it's every year it changes and enhances and it gets, equipment gets stronger and there's so much more you can do. I mean, you went from SD to HD to 4K, now it's 8K, 16K, and you always need to stay on top of your game, on top of what's around you and stuff like that. And when I moved away from my daily hectic 9/9 directing, I wanted to move into more of like the online sphere. And so I'm now working as an online multimedia producer for a company called Boost Collective, which is within Cookler Media. And so we're now servicing clients, coming up with really cool corporate ideas, working with different clients. And that's the cool thing that I'm now doing is I've now almost on a day-to-day basis working with different clients. So it's a whole new different creative element and a different thought process and a different challenge. And I think that's what keeps me on my toes now. That's what keeps me excited. That's what keeps me in this game. That gets me up in the mornings. And and at the end of the day, you can go home and you can say I've learned something new today. I've worked with some new people. I've created something really cool that could make a change in people's lives. And it's really satisfying to do that type of thing.
Well, I am kind of out of questions now. So thank you for your time. It was quite nice speaking to you.
You're most welcome, Jason. And thank you very much for selecting me to be on your podcast. It was really exciting.
No problem.
And all the best for the future. And
Yes.
And, hope schooling hasn't been too crazy for you with the whole COVID thing.
Okay. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day.